Hello everyone, welcome to another Rick's Picks. Today I'm going to be doing my review of the doll creature from the movie John Carpenter's The Thing by NECA. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at it in packaging. Then I'm going to take a look at the creature and all of his features. And then I'm going to give you my thoughts on him. And just remember, if you do like this video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up, share, and subscribe. They're small clicks for you, but it really helps this channel grow. So without any further ado, let's get to the review. All right, so here it is in packaging. I love the packaging for this. I really do. I love this red on black. It looks really evil, sinister, you know, and it has like that metallic look. This looks really neat. Let me see if I could get that. Yeah, look at that. Like how it has the skull like this. You have the thing in that like red style of look. So I really like this. That's a really neat looking picture. All right, open them up here. On this side you have a picture of the action figure with the background from the movie. All right, spin it around this way. You actually have this open clamshell where you can see the figure, all his accessories, and so forth. Close them up. All right, spin it around to this side. You got more of the extension from the cover. You have the Thing logo. Spin it around here. You have a nice picture of the figure, all the different modes that it can go into. The original Thing logo. Spin around here. All right, you have, you know, Real Toys, NECA, The Thing. All right, on the top here, you have the Thing logo. Got your age restrictions, choking hazards, NECA. And then last but not least, on the bottom, get a little bit of legal here. The Thing, NECA, Universal, Real Toys, and your SKU. So with all that being said, let's open him up and see what he's about. Okay, so this figure comes in two different forms, okay? The first form is which we're going to go over now. It's a standard look, okay? And this is when he looks more like the wolf and starts changing. And then the second form is the final form that the Thing was in before escaping from the doll kennel. So we're going to do it like that. So first off, let's take a look at the dog itself. All right. Here, bring them up. The head does move. All right. The legs do move. So your front paw and your rear paw move. The rear legs do not. And your tail does move. All right. Let's get a good look at him. Now from this side. From this side. From the top. And then from the back. All right. Now, each form comes with a whole bunch of accessories. Okay. So first off, you have this piece here. Okay. This is when the head splits open and you get your first like horror, you know, view of the thing. Okay. You got the skull here. All right. You have two tongues. So you have a small tongue. Right, let's bring it up here so you could get a really good look at it. And then you got a long tongue. All right. You got this body shell of all these little pieces wiggling out of it. Because if you remember right, okay, when he starts transforming, it starts attacking the other dogs and trying to absorb all the other dogs, okay? So that's what all this is. These are these things coming out to attack the other dogs and what have you. All right. You get two mandibles for it. All right. Get this one. All right. And this one. All right. You get 6 insect legs. So you got 1, 2. All right. 3. 4. 5. 5. And then last but not least, 6. All right. So that's all the accessories that work with this form. Now, for me, this was the worst scene in the movie. I mean, not worse as in bad, but like this scene set up the real tone to this movie. When you saw this doll come apart and you see all these weird things happen to it, it's like, oh my God, what am I watching? You know, it was a really cool scene. Kind of horrified me when I first saw it because I was just a kid when I saw this at, you know, when it first came out and what have you. But still, it was a great scene. A lot of really good visual, you know, practical effects made this scene. And it was just horrifying. But you'll love it all the same. So, with that being said, let's start seeing how all this stuff works with the dog. So, first off, the head comes off. All right. It came off really easy. No issues. All right. And then now you have this head that goes on. All right. That went on really well. It does move around. Now you can get the skull. That's supposed to sit in there somehow. All right. Trying to figure out how this sits in there. Hinge opens up. I think it sits on the tongue. Yeah, okay. So what it is this jaw opens up like that. You get the small tongue here. All right. That pops in here. Gets like this. And this goes through it like that. All right. Oops. Maybe it would be better like this. All right, looks like all this stuff is fitting in really well. Now it does go the other way. All right. So now these tongues are bendable. All right. So this tongue you see here can move. So you can kind of position it as you want. All right, because it kind of sits high in here. All right, let me try to angle that down a little bit. Hold up, let me, all right, one more thing. Let me spin it down like this. All right, there you go. All right, so now you see the tongue is in there. You have the skull. All right. And now in the movie, this head just falls off like that. All right. So just to show you the best way to put this in there is like this. So you want this ball joint part on the bottom, and that'll allow it to sit in there better. So that's that part. So the head falls out, and now you get this longer tongue that just pops right in there. So now you got this long tongue, and it was using this to, like, once again, attack the other dogs. If you can look at this, you can kind of see some of the detailing in it. They have like a wash on it that gives it a lighter color, so it makes it look a little bit more twisted. All right. And now you got this. So you got parts that hook into this. So you get your legs here. All right. They're supposed to just pop on in here. Let's see how well these go in. All right, that's not going to be fun to get in. Not at all. All right. So now I'm a little concerned about these legs. I don't know how well they're going to go in there. All right. Got 1, 2. Okay, so I wasn't liking how these things were going in here. So I decided to let them sit in some hot water for a couple minutes before popping them on. So let's see how well this works now that this is nice and soft and Maybe these legs go in specific spots, maybe? All right, because this don't want to go in, and this is pretty darn soft right now. You know what? We're going to do it this way. I'm going to put this whole body in the hot water. That whole thing soaks. So while that's soaking, the other thing is these legs come off. All right. Eventually, they may have to take a bath in the hot water too, because they don't want to come off. All right, so these are going to take a hot water bath as well. All right, let's pull this thing out now. All right, those can sit over there. Get one of these insect legs. Now this whole body is now nice and soft, so there shouldn't be any reason. Yeah, there we go. All right, now they're going in. So I would recommend soaking these in hot water because they'll just make your life a lot easier. Just soaking the body in the hot water. Ow, that is hot. Woo. And that will make it so these legs just go in really easily, really well. All right. Yeah. So once I soak the body in the hot water, let's get a close look at this. The legs went in really well after that. I have no issues getting them in. And you also have a joint right here as well on each of the legs. So I would definitely recommend soaking this in hot water to try to get the legs on. It'll make your life easier. You may be able to do it without it, but that would be my recommendation. Now for these legs. All right, so the legs pop off and they get replaced with these. I think it's this one. I don't think it's that one. I don't know what else it could be, because these look a little big for that. Here they are. They're just meant to sit like this. All right, so now you got those in. All right, oops. And then this just hooks on, all right? There's no special clamp to it. There's no special thing. That just hooks onto the body like that. So now you have the insect style legs on him. Put that tail down. Thing. And then these look like they just pop in here. I don't think they sit there very tight. All right. Yeah, I think they're just meant to sit in there, which is kind of a bummer. All right. So yeah, those just sit in there. There's no real nothing that ties them in. They just kind of lay in there. Because of all the tentacles, those are the only ones that look like they're supposed to go in there. Yeah. See, that's what it shows on the directions there. So they just sit there. And I guess, you know, if they're sitting there, you're not doing a whole lot of movement. So this is it right there in the Form 1, the final part of Form 1. So this is really cool. There's a lot of really good attention to detail to this. You know, like I said, you can put the legs however you want them and what have you. So that's pretty cool. I love this whole look. Let's get a good look at them again. These, they just don't stay on, all right? So you get a look at that whole insect look, what have you, all that detail. Even if you look here, you can actually see the teeth from where the head split, which is really neat. All right, so I'm definitely liking this so far. All right, so now we're looking at Form 2, okay? I got a lot of the parts for this sitting in the hot water just because we had issues with the other piece, so I want to make sure everything's good and soaked. So now let's, excuse me, let's take a good look at this part. They went wild with the detail. Look at the detail on this, all right? Even when you bring it up to the under part, you get this mouth here, you get all this deformities to this. I mean, they really went all out on this. I love all the detail. So the jaw opens up, All right, the head does spin. Okay. You got this part here that spins. All right. The legs do move. So you got a joint here and here. And then this back one, you got a joint there. And you have a little joint right here. Okay. So this got a lot of points of articulation for it. All right. Then you got the arms. All right. They got a joint right at the base here. Then you have an elbow joint. You got kind of like a swivel here. All right. And then you have a wrist joint on here. All right. So let's start putting this monstrosity together. So first off, this piece here hooks in. The arms go on there. All right, so he kind of sits like this, it looks like. This hooks up under here somewhere. Like here, maybe? Huh. Oh, okay, it swaps out for the leg. That's what it is. So this leg comes off. All right. And this hooks in here somehow, like that. But how do you get it to stay? Does it just sit in there? All right, so that sits like that. Okay, it doesn't look like there's anything that holds that on. Like that just goes in place of the leg, and then unless if... Oh, I think I know what happened. Okay. Hold on, let that sit in there. Okay. I think what happened was the ball joint came out when the ball joint shouldn't have came out. I think it was supposed to be the other way around. So I'm going to let that soak for a minute. While that's soaking, let's look at some of these other parts. All right, so a lot of this should be good and ready for movement. All right, so now we got this piece here. All right, and this gets a bunch of stuff put into it. So it looks like, I don't know if you could just go with whatever tentacle that you want. This kind of looks like, not that one. I guess it's this one. All right. So you got headpiece here. All right. You got this one that gets back here. All right. Or it goes on here. Like that. And you got these one here that goes here. You get one that goes in the back like this. All right. So now you got all those on. And this hooks in here. At least you would think it does. No. Where the hell does this hook in on? All right. We're going to let that soak for a minute. All right. So now we get a tongue in here too. All right. Where's that weird looking tongue? That's a leg. Ah. Alright, so you get this little tongue piece here that goes in here. Pops just in there just like that. Alright, this one goes up here like this. Alright, so that's all the goofiness that hooks onto this piece. Alright, let me see if I can get this ball joint out of here now. No, hold up. Everything's coming apart except for what I want it to. Alright, now let's see. It still comes off that way. Alright. So this thing, one of the things I'm really seeing that's an issue with this is the factor that these tentacles and everything needs to go into hot water. Everything apparently needs to go into hot water for it to work. Alright? So everything has to go into the hot water. This leg needs to sit in there for a minute. So now that we got him out of the hot water, this should pop right in this joint here. Okay. There it goes. No. There it goes. All right. So now that's in here. Okay. So this mutilation will go over here like this. All right. Once again, let's get all these parts back on here. All right. Can go here, I guess. I mean, I think with some of these things, it don't really matter where they go on it. Alright, just as long as they fit in there, I guess. Alright, so now you got all that together. Got the head together. Alright, so he's like this, that's like that. Alright, let me try to see if I can get this ball out of here now. Hold on. There it goes. Alright. So this ball joint actually is supposed to go in here. Alright, so that fits in there like that. Alright. And then this actually goes in here. Now this is starting to get frustrating because of the factor, because I have to heat up all these joints, everything is now wet. So it's kind of a pain to hold on to things and try to put them into place. There it goes. All right, so that's this thing here. All right, so that's supposed to sit in here like this. It's going to give me a rough what. Ah, there it goes. Okay, so that's in. All right, so now these arms are up there like that. Like I said, if you look at it, it just pops in right here. All right. So now let's look at more of these things, see what goes where. All right, so this one comes in under here. All right. So you got this one underneath. All right, you got this one comes into here, right here. All right, and then you got, I guess, this one here. All right, got this S1 that goes right in here. All right, so you got that one. Oh, Jesus Christ, that fell off again. Come on, piece of shit. There it goes. All right. That go here like that. Yes, that's for this leg. All right. Guess those two must have stayed with the other part. All right, so now you got this big windy mess here of tentacles and, you know, body parts and what have you. All right, I think this one fell off of here. All right, so now you got this big raving mess of flesh and dog and alien and all sorts of goodies. All right, get that back in there. So this is it complete. All right, let's get a little bit closer look at this. So you got the arms here. All right, they can move up like that. You got the head. You got these kind of legs. Look over here. You got this twisted mouth and what have you. All right. So I think some of these, you know, tentacles and stuff, you can pretty much put them wherever you want them. But for the most part, that's it. That's how it looks in this form. Oh, geez, now this came off. All right. All right, this one don't want to stay on for some reason. I'm sure as this stuff starts drying, you know, will probably be harder to get on. But definitely while it's hot and wet, all this stuff goes on really well. All right. Okay, so overall, I really like this set. I think it looks really neat. Ooh, get that head looking the right way. You know, there's a lot of detail to it, lots of points of articulation. Definitely a lot of thought put into this. You know, it isn't set up like your average, you know, figure. One of the cool things is you do technically get two figures in one. So you get the Form 1 and the Form 2. All right. Probably the biggest gripe I have about this set is putting it together, because it's really hard to put together. You're going to have to soak all these tentacle pieces in hot water. Once you get them into the hot water, it all goes together pretty well. But I would highly recommend, you know, definitely soaking these things in hot water or whatever heating method you use for your figures. But like I said, once everything's together, it looks great. Definitely look wonderful on the shelf. I know there's a couple of McCready figures floating out there as well, so you know, you could display them with that. I'm hoping if these do really good, I would love to see other characters and sets, such as, you know, the operation table scene. That would be awesome. You know, maybe get, oh shoot, what was his name? Whelan? The guy whose head splits open. You know, when they do the whole, you know, blood test. Definitely want to see a Charles figure. So there's a lot of potential to this line, especially if they're going to keep up with this kind of detail. I would love to see more of this. And also, this set comes with a background piece too of the dog kennel. So you can display him with the dog kennel behind him. So now you have that whole scene. I know NECA just recently did a McCready with the flamethrower. So, You can also have that as well. You could have McCready sitting there with the dog and shooting the flame at it. So when I get that figure in, I'll definitely be reviewing it. So overall, yeah, if you're a Thing fan, this is a must-have. You must have this if you're a Thing fan. So with all that being said, I hope you guys did like this review. If you did, go ahead and hit that thumbs up, share, and subscribe buttons. They're small clicks for you, but it really helps this channel grow. And also check out my sci-fi and horror playlist where I do review on other such things, horror movies, sci-fi, and what have you. So until the next one, late.